Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the WWE 2K25 University. We're approaching the end of semester 1, so thank you all for joining me on this journey, and remember, leave a like, subscribe if you found anything interesting, anything you want to add in the comments down below. But we're on a hands-on episode today. We're talking about superstars, rosters, and I'm going to show you some little tricks about balancing, tiering your talent, and features in WWE 2K25 Universe Mode you may not have even looked at or thought to look at. So let's get into it. Welcome to the goddamn show. So in segment 1, we're going to talk about drafting, and I think what's very important when you're drafting a roster, and a little tip that I like to give, is balancing heels and baby faces. So the first step you want to take is you want to have a roster size like we discussed in the last video. If you haven't checked that out, it is sort of applicable to this kind of episode. So I said I think imagine we're running 2 shows. I think 35 is a perfect amount to sort of manage 2 shows effectively, showcase talent appropriately, and all that stuff. So Part 1 is about making sure you have an equal amount of baby faces and heels. So when you're drafting, one thing to consider is the tiering element. So what is the tiering element? The tiering element is main eventers, mid-carders, and lower card. Now, I know we talk about tweeners and stuff. They do exist. They are useful. But the way I would do it is start by drafting the people you want to be pure face and pure heel. So we're going to do an example here. So we got a completely fresh slate on Monday Night Raw, and please stay till the end because one of the main things that I'm going to talk about, and something you might not know, is towards the end. It's when we talk about status effects. We're going to go through all of them, and they can be used to make a universe mode if you're producing content, especially, or just if you're playing. They can make it feel more realistic. So we're going to do a draft. So we're looking at the main event scene. AJ Styles for me is always a face. So I'm going to draft AJ Styles. That's who I choose now. Who is a equal to sort of heel? Well, if we're going off current WWE, it'd be someone like Logan Paul. But we're going to keep it without Logan Paul. So AJ Styles, for me, upper mid-card and main eventer. So we need somebody of the same ilk, but on the opposite side of the spectrum. So for me, I mean, obviously, differing opinions of who we think's equal. I think somebody who would be a good equal to AJ Styles would be someone like Gunther, a heel. He is an upper mid-carder. He's had the World Championship just like AJ Styles. Not quite at that world level. But yeah, so now we'll pick a main eventer. So we're going to pick, I think I'm going to go Roman or Cody. Should we go Cody? This is just advice, by the way. This is applicable you can put Charlie Dempsey in the main event position. I'm just using real life examples, but you can put NXT stars in these positions. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to pick Cody Rhodes, wherever he is. Cody Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes, quarterback, massive face. So we need a massive heel that's equal. So personally, I don't think WWE is doing a great job right now of creating mammoth heels, but somebody who could go quite well with Cody Rhodes is Drew McIntyre. And when all's said and done, when you do this for your sort of card, so what did I say? I said 5 main eventers. So we've got 4. Now, what I always would add here is a tweener. So what is a tweener, if you don't know what a tweener is? A tweener isn't something to do with the teens. It's somebody who's not quite a face, somebody who's not quite a heel, that's kind of in between, and that's obviously where the term tweener comes from. So who's a tweener in WWE? Well, a great example of somebody who can fluctuate from heel to babyface would be Randy Orton. So that would be my 5th pick, and that is my main event scene drafted. This is applicable throughout the card, to the women, to the men, to the mid-card, to the lower card. This is what you kind of need to be doing. So, for example, if we're doing the lower card, we would do Akira Tozawa, a bit gimmicky, a really over babyface. Now, who's the same but a heel? Someone similar, I would say someone like maybe Grayson Waller, for example. I know Grayson Waller is obviously very good, but It's just an example. You have a really comedic lower card babyface, and then you have a somewhat comedic heel that could be in that position. And then for the women, exact same method. So if we're using, well, we're going to use the obvious one, which is Rhea Ripley. So if we've got Rhea Ripley, she's a massive babyface at the moment. She could be considered a tweener though. You need a heel that's of equal amount. So obviously, I know you guys probably mix it up, but Liv Morgan would be the counter to that. So you're balancing your rosters, you're tiering it main eventers, mid-carders, and lower card. For the tag team, the exact same thing. If you pick the Motor City Machine Guns, then think about what heels you could have opposite them. Street Profits, or maybe DIY, and balance out your rosters like that. But we're going to talk about the more in detail stuff, which I haven't really seen covered, which I think is important. So there's a few things I want to cover on the Superstar page. So if we go to Superstars here, you might find this important. We're going to use AJ Styles as our example today. This is applicable to every single wrestler. Now, first up, we have attributes. So the attributes is something that you can adjust and change. What I like to do is change everybody's pin escape to 75. This is completely up to you. And the reason I do this is so that everybody has an equal chance of kicking out, and you don't quite know who's going to win. So in terms of this, you can edit his overall. If you think 85 is a little bit low, well, we'll have a look at it. His grapple offense, in my opinion, is better than that. I'd bump him up to 80. His running offense, maybe he's slowed down a little bit. His aerial offense is still better than 70, and that will bump him up to an 86. Just an example. Oh no, I don't want to save. We're going through it. So what is a payback? So I know you guys know about paybacks. Status effects and power rankings is the thing I want to cover the most. But what kind of character do we want to create with AJ Styles? Well, he's a massive babyface in the example I give. So what kind of thing would AJ Styles have? He'd have a comeback. That's a great example. A comeback would be a good example. Power ranking. Now, if you have a look on the right hand side, you can see that the attributes are boosted. +3 for first, and then all the way down to 10, I believe it is. Yep, they get +1. I would sort this in the way that you put your champions quite high. So, like, as you can see, the computer, the AI has done it so the champions are quite high. Well, it's pretty much all champions in the top 10. And then put a few talent that you want to elevate in the top 10. Power rankings are influential in terms of who faces who if you leave the booking to the AI. So I would always, before you kick off your very first show, sort your power rankings into I wish they did women's and men's power rankings, to be fair, because it's quite difficult to do. So how I would personally do it is men, if you have a equal men's and women's, or at least a top 10 of men, go man, woman, man, woman, man, woman, man, woman, man. You get this story. So status effects. Now we're going to go through these, and these are things that you can apply and you can remove, and there's a duration in the bottom right. So if you have a look at them, the blue ones are good, the red ones are bad, and you can apply these to any superstar. So trigger conditions, everything has a condition to where it can be implemented. You can even write a superstar off injured with a critical injury, which means you can't select them to compete. And if you select that, you can add a duration. Obviously, I can't because I don't think AJ's... wait a second. He has to be in a rivalry, basically. But if somebody's in a rivalry, you can give them any kind of damage. But let's go through the other options. So conqueror the competitors, beat the biggest and the best, increasing all offensive and defensive attributes by 3. And it stacks up to 5 times. So you can make AJ Styles overall bigger by adding status effects. So the blue ones, I would say, are for people who are on a bit of a run. It's a good thing. The red ones, for example, Cold Streak, the competitor becomes demoralized from losses, decreasing all attributes by 1. That is something you can add to AJ Styles, and if he loses a rivalry, that will happen. And you'll see it in the attribute system. So this is something, I'm not going to go through every individual example of a status effect, but take the time, read what all of them do. We'll have a look at the grey ones. Now the grey ones are I believe that they're all triggered by rivalries, but like the grey ones are not as attribute affecting. I think the blue affects attributes in a positive way, the red is in a negative way. So let's have a look at one of the grey ones. We're going to pick this one with the head. Focus. The competitor becomes focused on an objective, doubling the rate of change for the disciplined, aggressive personality change. So that's something you can do in the rivalry. It means he's focused on an objective. If you cut a promo, for example, and the next objective is to win the match, the superstar will get a temporary boost. And that's it, really. Supercharged is it is what it says. The reason it isn't with the other ones is because it's so OP, and it's backing up their promises and confrontations in promos, puts a superstar at the top of their game, increases special finisher and defensive attributes by 1. And you can stack that up to 10 times. And the red ones at the bottom here are all to do with injury. So if you can see here, critical injury. The competitor is afflicted by a critical injury and cannot participate in matches except for rivalry matches. Well, it actually, I believe it takes them away from... Obviously, you have to put the superstar in a rivalry before you can apply any of these. That's something I forgot to add. But this is an easy way to write in an injury, because you don't have to... if they're in a rivalry and you don't want them to compete anywhere else, put them in give them an injury. Sorry for the cut out there. I don't know what happened. Give them an injury, and then you can go from there. We're going to have a look at personality traits. So personality traits are quite important. Now, if you look on the left, every single personality trait builds your character. In sports entertainment and professional wrestling, character building is one of the biggest things. So, egotistical, the blue side is the good, the red side is the bad. That's how it's always been. So, the egotistical, the confidence inspired the superstar by the superstar's own talent, motivating them towards big opportunities and take any lengths to capture them. I wouldn't say AJ Styles disrespectful, so something I would definitely do is boost AJ Styles' respectful trait. This does nothing to the attributes, but more so it has an influence on the rival reactions you'll see from the AI and the way in which the matches turn out. So I do think they're important. You can take your time, like I read egotistical out very badly, by the way, because I can't read properly, but if you go through each of them, you can read on the left hand side what it does if it's bad, and on the right hand side what happens if you put it to that side, if that makes sense. So that is personality traits. Crowd reaction, this is how you want your crowd to react. Crowd balance I don't think there's anything different really there. Allies, enemies, you can edit this all you want. Managers there, teams, so you can add them to a team. Entrance, you can edit the entrance here. Victory motion, and that's it for Superstar. Now, that's pretty much the undercover of what many people don't share, and I think that's something that's important to Universe Mode. And if you find yourself just drafting rosters and going, that is something you maybe consider using. So guys, let me know your feedback. Do you use personality traits? Do you use status effects? Do you go into all this detail to set up the characters exactly the way you want them to? I think you should, because it takes a little bit more stress off yourself if you're not wanting to book every individual match. This is something that the AI can assist you with. It takes a long time. I've done it for the Universe Mode I have on the PC. It might have actually taken me days, but it's worth it because I don't book per se. I build the characters I want. I put the attributes and the status effects on I want from the rivalry, and then it all unfolds. So guys, have a play around. Let me know if you've used them before. If you haven't, that's fine. I'll see you in the next one, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Peace.